There's always one thing or another. Now the sunlight's looking like it's just going to shine straight at me 1 minute. I am going to go and sort out the curtain quickly. Be a little bit better. So, good morning. And today's practice, we are working with the digestive tract. So this is a practice for purging, for cleansing, and for getting our digestive fire waking up. And so then that just means that we're going to detoxify more. At the same time, our energy is going to circulate better, and so on. So that's where we're going with the practice today. It's going to be a practice of twists, which are always brilliant for wringing out any tension we hold in the abdominal area, and just bringing that sense of, what would you call it, energy really, into this area. So we'll start with hands resting just in front of the belly, one palm on top of the other. And as you find your seat, if you now draw up through the spine, you're creating as much space as you can within the torso of the body. And then just letting everything relax. You really are comfortable in your seat. And let your eyes shut now. And bringing your awareness down into the belly. You'll find the rise and the fall of your breath here. And so we're going to take a few moments to breathe into the belly. And letting our breath enter and leave the body at a steady pace. You may feel comfortable slowing this right down, or else letting the body find its own rhythm. Full belly breaths. Yourself space. Feel the rise and the fall of the abdomen as you breathe. This helps to engage the parasympathetic nervous system. So whenever we are stressed, things are getting a bit on top of us, often our digestion is one of the first things to go a bit out of balance. And so deep abdominal breathing helps to reset that balance. Once our parasympathetic nervous system is engaged, there's less stress hormones knocking about the body. And the digestive tract can work more efficiently. And taking one more full breath there. We'll then open the eyes again. And you may need to change your position here to maybe stretch the legs out in front of you, but if you're comfortable carrying on, just going to come into a twist. So left hand will come over to the right knee. And you'll look to keep your spine still lifting here. Very easy in a twist to kind of bend a little bit to one side or the other. See if you can anchor both sides of the sit bones down. And then opening up into your twist. As much as you're twisting over to the right hand side, bringing a little bit of traction into that left side of the body, the left hip, left side of the pelvis. And so you're anchoring your twist there. Gain full belly breaths. Breathing into that sense of constriction down in the abdomen. Breathing through it. And right hand will cross over to your left knee. And left hand can come behind the body. Again, find that lift through your spine. And with that lift, you're opening into your twist. And just note if there's a bit of lifting through the right side of the pelvis. And you're going to anchor down the right side of the pelvis. So your weight is balanced through the body. Notice if or where you may be gripping hands, jaw, fingers. See if you can let those muscle groups relax. If you're holding the shape without putting any undue tension into the body. One more full breath. And we'll all arrive back and to the center line. And arriving here, we'll stretch out the legs into a wide V-like shape. Toes can be flexed up. If you want to soften it, toes can point away from the body. Right hand will slide down the right leg, aiming towards the inner edge of the right foot. Now, once you're there, we bring the left hand onto the hip, and we're going to rotate the trunk of the body so you're looking out towards the left. And then, as if you're sliding the trunk down towards that right leg. Take a few breaths here, stretching out the side waist on the left side. Now see if you can lengthen equally both sides of the body, so your right underside of the body, as well as the top left side. And once you're there, you can lift up your left arm. Big sky stretch with the left fingertips. Lengthening out both sides of the trunk. And we'll arrive back and to the center line. So left hand now will slide down towards the inner edge of the left foot. Going slowly here, right hand will come to the right here. Once you're there, you'll rotate the chest upwards towards the ceiling. Lengthening out through both sides of the waist. The right arm will then lift up. Note if your belly is still breathing. Keep coming back to this full belly breath here. You really are breathing from the belly. It's quite hard to tense within the body. The body will naturally want to relax. And right hand coming back down again. So just massaging through the abdominal tract, interlacing the fingers in front of the body. We'll just stir the cauldron for a few breaths. With the out breath, you'll come over front of the body. With your in breath, you're drawing out behind you with your circle. Take your time here to really expand into the movement of the body. Nice easy circle with the hands. And through the torso of the body. We come back the other way. Before we do so, we'll interlace fingers the opposite way to which you were. And then coming back the opposite direction. We'll come into one more round here. Note if you've speeded up. Then just see if you can reset your breath, coming back again to that steady rhythm. Taking your knees together now and coming onto all fours. From there, if you then take your knees wider apart to come into a wide leg child, You have to excuse me, by the way, I'm a bit clumsy with movements on the knees. I grazed my knee at the weekend. Hands coming out in front of you, into your wide leg track. From your next round of breath, we'll take this into a wide leg twisted child, walking the hands over to the left side. So walk your hands as far over as feels comfortable. And then you're stretching down into the body again. Walk your hands back over to your center line and then we'll cross them over to the left hand side. All these practices, even though we're kind of in twisted asymmetrical shapes, we're really looking to draw our breath, lengthen out through both sides of the body. And we're arriving back and into the center line. Take the knees that little bit closer so that hips width apart from one another. And then you can find your way up onto all fours. From all fours, opening up the spine in cat and cow. Slow, leisurely movement, drawing up into your core as the spine curves up. You can see how slow you can make this, how much space you can find within your breath. And see if you can guide your body into that movement. Today's practice really, as well as working with the digestion, about resetting the nervous system. So then rather than rushing forwards in our lives, as often happens when we're chasing time, as it were, we're really reconnecting with the body and slowing things down so our body has a chance to breathe. I think often we almost forget to breathe, whilst we breathe quite shallowly. Long belly breaths in. So you're massaging the internal organs with the breath. And from in-breath, we'll tuck under the toes and we're going to ease our way up and into a down dog. Now bending your right knee so you'll stretch out into your left hamstring. Come into a down dog twist, taking the right hand over to the left side and sliding your right hand down the outer edge of the left leg. Until such point where that's quite enough of an edge, you're looking, balancing three-pointed dog, looking out to the left. Right hand will come back to the mat. We'll do the same straight away on the other side. So as you bend your left knee, you'll stretch into your right leg. Left hand will come to the right leg and slide its way down the right leg, outer edge. And you're looking underneath the right armpit in your three-pointed twist. Your next breath, the left hand will come back to join the right. And from here, we'll find our way, slow time, little steps, walking up towards the top of the mat. And so you'll arrive into a forward fold here at the top of the mat, putting a little bit of bend into your knees.
In fact, even so much bend that you're draping the front of the body over the front of the legs. You may be happy hands just in front of the body. You may want to come back and hold the backs of the heels. What of work on the digestive tract kind of evolves as well around earthing ourselves, as it were. So here we're kind of plugging into earth. And then we'll release the hands. And we're going to draw the arms up, a big circle around you to come up to standing. Arms up above the head. Deep purging breath through the mouth now. So we take our hands into a fist, little bend through the knees, and we'll take the arms out behind us as we breathe out. We'll lift the arms back up again. Breathing in, another purging breath. Again. And we'll take a couple more. With the arms lifting up now in front of you, up above the head, look a little childlike shape here, a lot of earthward energy. We'll then step the left foot with the right, so both legs are together now. Let's take a moment so you feel comfortable there. Feel the contact with feet, inner edges of the legs. Guide your awareness up into the belly, and then hands coming down into prayer. Right elbow looking over the left knee takes you into a chair twist to the left hand side. Now push up with your right hand here to stabilize your balance. Draw into your core. Keep breathing fully into the belly. For the next round of breath, we'll open out the arms. So right arm will stretch downwards, left arm will stretch up. From here, we're going to take the left arm down, and arms coming out behind us. We'll take the arms up and over the head again. Now keep going through that kind of, probably a little bit of shake through the legs, a bit of tiredness maybe through the legs. So just do the other side here. Hands coming to heart, left elbow hooks over the right knee, taking you into the twist in chair, over to the right hand side. This time the left hand underneath the right palm, just pressing up to stabilize your balance. Long, deep belly breaths. And the arms will open out. Left hand reaches down as right arm stretches up. Right arm coming down. So you're in an easy forward fold here. We'll step the feet back, hips width from one another. And rooting down into the feet, we'll lift up. Arms above the head. And into a side body stretch, we'll catch hold of the right arm. And we'll let the hips sway over to the right hand side. As you reach right hand over to the left. Come back to your center line. Catch hold of your left wrist. That wrist over to the right hand side, hips swaying out to the left. And arriving back, center line, stretching up through the arms. And breathing out, we take the hands down either sides of the body. So fingertips now coming up to the tops of the shoulders, anchor down to your feet. And we'll take both elbow points together,
So we draw a big open circle through the elbows. And with your next circle, we'll drop down into the knees again. And with your elbow points facing out to either sides of the body, we'll then open the arms out, palms facing up. And then we'll turn the palms to face down. Notice you've got that little bend in the knees here, soft shoulders. Now, coming into a twist here with the arms stretched out. Don't let your knees come into this twist. Your knees want to go to the opposite way to which you are twisting. So if we start twisting to the right, just make sure your knees are slightly turning to the left. Stretching out into the fingertips. We'll hold here for a couple of breaths. Keep that long, deep belly breath alive. Arms come back to the center line. Relax down into the shoulders, at the feet. And we're coming the opposite way into our twist. So as you twist over to the left, your knees are going to slightly gravitate to the right. And coming back to your center line, we'll take the arms now in towards the shoulders. Your hands are still facing away from you here. Breathe out, stretch back out into the palms of the hands. Breathe in, we'll take the palms back in. And breathing out, we're stretching out away with the hands. You'll probably feel you're releasing quite a lot of heat here through the body. Quite a purging practice. Keep breathing fully, strongly. And now we're going to earth some of that heat. Taking ourselves down into a forward fold. And we'll slide the hands down the backs of the legs. Hands coming towards the heels, bending the knees and earthing some of that energy back down to earth. From your forward fold, if you're not facing the short edge of the mat, just walk your feet around so you are. And then we'll offer the spine forwards. Take your time there, and then hands coming down to the mat. We'll step ourselves back and into a down dog. And arriving in your down dog, we'll just do a little bit of pedaling from one leg to the other. And then taking both knees down to the mat. From the mat, knees on the mat, we come back and into child. So taking a few resting breaths here to connect to the belly, to connect to our breath. So you can accentuate your breath there, maybe deepening it into a rolling Ujjayi breath. So you're using the throat to draw breath in and out of the body. Then moving through, going to come up onto all fours and take the spine forwards. So your shoulders are coming over the hands. You'll then breathe out and drawing into the core, you'll take the pelvis back, keeping the spine level as you do so. Take your shoulders forward again. Take the pelvis back.
Arriving now in Cobra, looking forwards and sliding your spine forwards. Knees come to the ground, and we breathe our way into a baby Cobra, breathing our way back down again. Arms coming behind the body now, either sides of the body. From here we're coming into locust. The legs will lift, the arms will lift. And so we're settling on the belly, keeping the same breath. As legs and arms fly either sides of the body. And your belly breath is keeping you afloat. One more round of breath. And we'll lower back down, vibing hands under the shoulders. Find your way into another Cobra, feeling your belly up off the mat, then toes tucking under, and we'll lift our way up and back into down dog. Here we're going to take a deep purging breath through the mouth. We're now going to lift the right leg up, stretching it up into the sky. Really stretch out into all of your joints, straighten up through the right kneecap. And then we'll take right knee in towards the core. Now coming straight down your center line, coming in forwards into a plank. Holding there for a breath. Right leg will stretch back out again. Taking your right foot now down to the mat. And we'll do the same on the left side. So stretching up into the left leg. Left knee coming into the core, straight down the center line. So take the body forwards into a plank, left knee lifted. Draw back out again. Open up. Stretch up with the left leg, left foot coming back down. Either coming forwards into plank or the knees coming down to the mat. We'll all find our way down to the mat. Riding on the belly. Then coming into a locust, hands coming around the back of the body. Take a deep in-breath. The arms will lift and the legs will lift. Really steady breath. Maybe for the next round, you may want to even flap the arms or the legs from side to side. And it's like you're flying. And then, from these few breaths, you can again come down, lower the legs, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. And breathing in your way to a cobra. From cobra, finding your way up and back into down dog. Another deep purging breath through the mouth. In breath, right leg lifts up again. Big sky stretch through the right leg. And then right knee will come in between the hands and we'll plant the foot in between the hands. We're going to plant the left foot down now onto the mat. Left hand will remain on the mat. And we're going to lift the right arm up, taking ourselves into a high lunge twist. It's a bit of a bend through the front knee here. A bit of a squeeze into the belly. Right hand will come down. And with both hands, now on the big toe edge of the front foot, we walk the hands down to the long edge of the mat and you're in a forward fold. Coming up onto the fingertips here, breathe in off of the spine. Breathe out and fold. We walk our hands now around to our back foot and we rotate that back foot as well. So then we're going to come into the high lunge on the opposite side. You've anchored down your right foot, left foot is pointing to the little edge, right hand remains on the mat, left arm will lift up, taking you into the side twist. Long, deep belly breaths. Left hand coming down. So walk your hands back to that center line of the mat, the long edge of the mat. And so you're back into your stance for a wide-legged forward fold. This time we're going to come into a wide-leg standing twist. So left hand will be directly below the gaze and your right arm will lift up. Right hand will come down, covering the left hand, and the left hand will lift up. Left hand comes down, and both hands now will start to walk towards the right foot. You'll rotate that right foot, and then training the front foot with the hands. We then take the right leg out and back, arriving into down dog. Coming right up off the heels in your down dog, see if you can feel a sense of concertina in your belly towards the front of the thighs. And then looking forwards, we'll step the feet, hips width apart, up towards the top of the mat. And here we fold for the breath. Again, bend your knees as much as you need to feel a sense of draping the front of the body over the thighs. And as before, you may want to hold the back of the heels. We all come to rise now. Breathing in, arms floating up. Allowing your eyes to shut at the top of that stretch. And take the hands down the center line. And they're going to come to rest. Just in front of the belly. Now turning the palms so they're facing one another in front of the belly. The dantian, lower abdomen. And that you're holding a ball between the palms of the hands. We're now going to rotate that ball. So your one palm will be on top, the other underneath. Then you're going to pulse that ball 3 times in front of the dantian, front of the lower abdomen. Now rotate the ball so your left hand is on top, or your right hand fitting the other way. And the top hand, bottom hand will then pulse the ball 3 times. Coming back. Hands in front of the belly again, holding the ball. Now we lift some of this energy up to the solar plexus area, so just below the sternum. And here we allow the eyes to open. Pushing a pebble exercise now. We'll take the hands out in front of you. And then we're opening the hands, palms facing down, until the palms come to face one another in front of the solar plexus. In breath, palms down, hands will stretch away. And then you're gathering up. As hands come back to the solar plexus. And your breath slow right down here. You go as slow as the breath will allow. Just gathering our awareness in the digestive area. All of this heat that we've been creating. Now allowing that to settle. Energy flowing more freely there. And blockages. And stagnation. With that warmth flowing more freely. And coming back to the solar plexus area, holding that ball. Here we're going to rotate the ball, so one hand's on top, one underneath, and we pulse 3 times there. And then rotate your ball. The bottom hand now comes to the top, and we pulse the ball back in front of the solar plexus. And holding the ball in front of the solar plexus, palms and turning down, and we're just guiding that energy down to the dantian, the lower abdomen, and there, one palm on top of the other. We'll circle along the digestive tract, so it's a clockwise circle. Your hands go down the left side, and they come up the right side of the body. And slowly your circle becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. Until your hands are resting on the dantian. And then feeling the warmth of your hands, the warmth of your breath. We both are connected. We're infused with breath, yellow light, sunlight. We're breathing life into the abdominal cavity of the body. And this light is bathing all of our digestive organs. Light massages, holding each of the organs. Open the hands in front of the belly now. And breathing in, we'll let the arms float up. And stretching upwards, we'll take the hands now down the center line to find your way into a forward fold. Now either staying in your forward fold here That's another option coming into a twist here. If so, you'd like to try this one. We'll stretch the right hand, out between the legs. So your feet are hips width apart to allow that. Right hand's out behind you. Now your left arm is stretching up. This is kind of stage one, as it were, of this twist. Arms a bit like aeroplane wings. Now, left hand is then going to drape over the back. Maybe able to just kind of feel the right hand thigh as you do so. Now, listen up here. With your right hand, bending your right knee, it comes underneath the right kneecap. And it kind of comes around the back of the right thigh to maybe find the left hand. Now, if you're there, you may feel a bit squat here. So just explore how you can straighten up through the legs to open up this twisty shape. Keep your breath still flowing. Feel like you should actually just come down to the front of that so you can see a bit more clearly. So right hand comes underneath the right knee and around behind the knee. Left hand stretches over the spine so hands meet somewhere behind the leg. And you're twisting out towards the left hand side here. We'll then relax out the arms and we'll just let them swing from side to side in your forward fold. We're going to come into the twist the other side. So this time then, the left hand will come out between the legs, in between them. Stretch it out. Right hand then will lift up skywards. You've got these arms like aeroplane wings here. You're looking out towards the right. And from here, left hand wraps around the back of the left thigh. And the right hand drapes over the body. So hands may come to meet somewhere at the back of the left leg or on the back. Now you probably kind of got a bit of bend through the knees. So we're looking to straighten them up as we twist towards the right. Long, deep belly breaths. That feels inaccessible. If you're doing this class again at home, you could just come into a standing twist, left hand to the right side of the body, right arm just stretching up. You get that same twisting action each side. Right hand bend to the left leg and left hand lifting up. So either way, we'll release out into the forward fold. Just let the arms hang from side to side. Coming down to the mat now. So you can either just lower yourself down or bending the knees to come into a squat. The heels might be lifted here in your squat. We'll just take a few breaths. And then we'll lower down onto the body. Coming down into sitting, we'll stretch the legs out in front of us. And to start with, an easy forward fold, sliding hands along the legs towards the feet. Soft hands somewhere on the legs. Wiggle the toes a bit just to make sure you're not tensing them. And we'll let the spine hang forwards into a forward fold. Then we'll slowly find our way back up into a seated position. So coming into a twist now, we're going to take the we're going to actually keep the left leg stretched out. Now choices here, the right foot can either come to the left edge, to the right hand side of the leg, so you're not crossing the leg over. If you feel comfortable doing so, you can cross that right leg over the left leg. Immediately the balance becomes a little bit wobbly, so see if you can really anchor down, draw your energy inwards. It's like you're squeezing your hips together to kind of anchor the weight straight down the middle of the body. Now, either hugging this right knee with the left arm, or else you may want to drape the left arm over that right knee. That feels a little bit more compacted. It kind of intensifies the current. So either hug the right knee in, or else we drape it over. Right hand's just behind it as a bit of a prop to take you into your twist. Now note if the spine wants to droop a bit, and we're going to work to draw up into the core within this twist. Breathing down into the belly. Even though there's quite a lot of constriction, compaction as it were. Same big breath, big belly breath. And coming out of that twist, if you've got your right foot crossed over the left, then you may like to see if you can just lower that right knee down towards the left knee. So you're bending the right foot over to the left hand side. Breathe in, and then we'll lower forwards into a forward fold. Go easy on the back hamstring of the left leg. And we're walking our way back up and into sitting. So uncrossing your right leg now. And right leg stretching out. We're then taking the left knee in. So either the left foot remains on the same side, or else you cross the left foot over the right leg. Then, hugging in the left knee with the right arm, hugging it close to the core, or else draping the arm over the far side of it. Take your pick there. See if you can anchor weight down into your sit bones. Again, you've got to feel like you're drawing your hips together to anchor your weight down through the center of the pelvis. We'll take a few breaths here. Feeling the rise and fall of breath down in the belly. And then coming back to the center line, this time you may want to lower the left knee on top of the right. Again, feel that sense of drawing both hips together. And we'll take a few breaths in a forward fold. And breathing in, we're lifting up. Going to stretch out the left leg now. And from here, very easy forward fold, sliding the hands forwards towards the feet. May want to put a bit of sway from side to side. Just notice where there's tightness within the lines of the body.
letting your breath soften the edges of those lines. Putting down as much weight as you can into those parts of the body in contact with the mat, with the earth. And we're breathing and we'll find our way back and into sitting. So coming down onto the spine now, we're coming into an easy lying down twist. But we'll start hugging the knees into the chest for a few moments. You can rock from side to side here. And either plant your feet down to the floor here to come into your twist, or keeping the knees lifted, we'll stretch out the left arm and we'll take the knees over to the right hand side of the body. You can keep your right hand on the left, on the knees. Releasing the knees so you can take them back to the center line. And again, you may just want to hug knees into the chest. And then you either plant the feet down to come into your twist, or else you'll keep the knees lifted, left hand over to the knees to guide them down, over to the left hand side. And your gaze will come down the right shoulder. Then release your knees to bring them back to the center line. So we're going to come into asana now. Hands will come over the tops of the knees. Your fingers are facing away from you. We'll start drawing the right knee into the chest as you push your left knee away from the body. Then you can switch sides, drawing the left knee inwards, and right knee will go away from the body. Do that a couple more times from side to side. And we'll just move with the breath as your knees, like pistons, come in and then draw away from the body. Then take both knees into the chest. And then knees together, they draw away from the chest, hands on the knees. Then bringing the knees back in again. Breathing in, the knees will go away from the body. And breathing out, knees will come into the chest. Take 1 or 2 more rounds. And then we'll all plant the feet down, hands resting on the belly. Just adjust your body before you stretch out the legs. And arriving in lying down. We'll take a couple of breaths, feeling the breath move the hands on the belly. Then when you're ready to, you may want to keep the hands there, or else open them out so they're resting either sides of the body. And we'll all find ourselves lying down. Some resting breaths in Shavasana. We wake up digestive organs, waking up our capacity to detoxify, to let go of anything that we may be exposed to within our lives. It's hard to escape from the negative news all around us. Move the emotions that may bring into our bodies. Allowing that to move through us smoothly. Rather than embodying it. Leaves us free to breathe in what we choose to breathe in, take into our body, and assimilate within ourselves. Take your time in the next few breaths to bring some movement into your body. Next couple of breaths, feel the freshness of the breath, purity of a new breath. And breathing that deep inside the body, deep inside mind. And from here, when you're ready, we come onto one side of the body and we find our way up and into sitting. As much as letting go and eliminating the old, we bring hands now up to the heart. Just letting the eyes shut. Relaxing with the breath. And then bringing your middle finger up to the eyes and tracing down over the center of the eyes. Until you come more or less level with the tips of the nose. It's a point like a square with nostrils and the eyes. This point is called welcome fragrance. It's one of the large intestine points. So we'll just massage into this point. Great for clearing sinuses, any congestion. But also as the point on the intestinal meridian, kind of allows us to breathe in the fresh, to note the fresh and the pure in our lives. And to allow fresh new energy into our lives. Allow our perception to perceive this. And so from there, we guide the hands down and onto the belly. And infusing your breath and light and feeling the warmth of hands on the belly. And then, hands resting on the lap. And here, we close our practice. Namaste.